Welcome everybody to Cat Chat Live. We are going to get started in just a moment, but we are very excited to have some of my favorite people on UK's campus here to talk to you today about Big Blue Move-In. We know that a lot of families are ready. They're excited about bringing their students to campus and maybe a little anxious about what that move-in process is going to look like. So hopefully by the end of the evening, you will have everything you need to know to feel good, to feel secure, to feel excited about bringing your Wildcat to campus. Before we get started, I want to talk a little bit about the Parent and Family Association. If you have not signed up for the Parent and Family Association, I highly encourage you to do so. It is a free membership for all families of undergraduate students. And it's just the best way for you to stay connected to what's going on campus. We send out an email newsletter a couple of times a month to make sure that you know everything that's happening, what to tell your student about, what important dates are coming up, reminders, events, opportunities for yourself and for your students, information about Family Weekend. So it's just a great way to get connected. So join the Parent Family Association, and we'll be sure to put the link to join in the chat for you so that you can access that. Also, we're really excited that we are offering this year to all of our incoming families of incoming students, a publication called College Ready 2021. And this is a combination of or compilation of essays and information that was written by the experts, by people who work with parents and families of college students. And it's really a great resource to learn more about what your student is going to be going through over the next few months and how you can best support them as your student. And so there's a free ebook download for all families on the Parent and Family Association website. And so we encourage you to go ahead and download that and take a look. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce our guests tonight for Cat Chat Live. We will be recording this presentation and posting it to our Facebook and to our website later this evening. But I'll let Sarah Nykirk and Deborah Ross get started and talking to us about UK housing.
So good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Fall 2021 Big Blue Move-In event. My name is Sarah Nykirk. I'm the Executive Director of Auxiliaries, and with me tonight is Deborah Ross, the Associate Director of Auxiliary Services. And we are so excited to talk to you about move-in. We have a video we want to show you that we created in 2019 that we think is a good representation of what you can expect when you come to campus for move-in. And so we thought that it might be fun to show you what we created for the staff that worked so hard on that move-in event, because once you watch the video, I think you'll see just the way the traffic flows, the way we work with you to get you moved in. So without any other items here, I'm going to start this video.
Well, it's great to welcome the families here and to welcome our new Wildcats and, to just, to be here to help at a time that's sort of stressful for everybody. And, plus it's fun too for us to meet our colleagues elsewhere. So we made a connection today. I thought that was pretty great.
It's just a great way to meet the students, and they've got a great energy, and it's a good way just to kick off the semester and make a great impression.
I work in HR, and I'm also a graduating non-traditional student. So, but as far as helping out here, I thoroughly enjoy it, and I also know it's needed. I myself just moved in a junior of my own, and so I know what it is to be a parent and the anxieties and just the work that goes with moving a new student in. So I'm here, of course, to help physically, and if anyone needs any moral support, I could definitely encourage them as well. So this is really fun.
Everybody's so appreciative that here on move-in day. It's worth the sweat and the long hours, but we love doing it.
We don't have to really do much work.
Well, I mean, you just follow the signs, they bring you right in, tell you to pull over to the park, and then immediately the volunteers attack the car, and it's great. They just, super friendly, joking, help lighten the mood. And,
Quick and easy.
yeah, very quick and easy.
Even though I work in a department that doesn't really interact with students, love to be out here and help students and meet students and greet them as they come on the campus.
I love meeting new people, the new students coming in, the parents coming with them, just having general conversation with them, asking them where they're from and how the trip has been. And then you see the emotional exits as the people are leaving and things sometimes. And it's pretty emotional day for a lot of people.
As parents, you're already stressed and, it's kind of an anxious day of happies and sads and all that. So it's definitely good to see a friendly, helpful face.
Makes you feel more comfortable having a parent,
Makes you feel more welcome.
When they feel like that, you can definitely tell, and it makes us feel good as staff and faculty here to know that they feel like they belong here and that this is the place that they're gonna spend their next 4 years and they're gonna love it.
It's bittersweet. The students are happy to be here to move into the halls, but the parents are sad to see them go. So volunteers and staff just makes them feel welcome.
Even though it's like 90 degrees right now, it's always fun to get out here with my coworkers, meet new people, and then see the students. So absolutely, I would volunteer again.
We could not do it without the volunteers and the staff and the faculty and everybody. They come out and just see a need and just jump right in and fill that need, and we couldn't do it without them. It's just one big happy family.
I've been doing this several years, and what makes it go so smoothly is the support we get from the whole campus community. So thank you, volunteers, for being here. Really appreciate your help. Thank you. What I love about Move In is working with all the hardworking folks that come out every year that make what looks like something that is wildly impossible turns out to be something that is truly wildly possible because of the hard work and the dedication and the big hearts of all the people that come out and make this moving successful every year. Thank you so much.
Oops. So hopefully that was a good, I guess, overview of what you can expect when you come to campus. And as you can see, it's a campus-wide work event. Everyone from the president to every office on campus is invited to come out and welcome and help unload. And so we really get excited and work really hard on our move-in experience because we get it. It's an important day and we want it to go right. And so we work for months on this experience and we look forward to you being here. And so we're going to run you through some charts here that we think will give you a good overview of what you'll need to do to prepare. And we also believe that when your son or daughter or family member lives on campus, they have everything they need right here on campus, right out their front door. What we know is that when you live on campus, you do better academically and you retain, you graduate a lot quicker when you live on campus. So I'm going to turn it over to Deborah, who's going to go over some move-in dates and times. So Deborah.
Thank you. We're going to go through the meat and potatoes of move in, when and how and what you need to do. So we have what we call the Big Blue Move-In, 3 assisted move-in dates, and that is Monday, August 16th through Wednesday, August the 18th. Our first appointments, hopefully you have signed up for your move-in appointment or your student has. It starts at 9 a.m. and the last appointment starts at 3:30 p.m. So we're out there early to catch anybody that may arrive, say at 8:30, and we stay, of course, until the last car rolls in from that 3:30 appointment time. And just to reiterate, it is very important that your student signs up for the respective move-in appointment and tries to stick with it. If things change, that happens, you can go back in the portal and change your move-in appointment, but that just helps us to control the flow of traffic so that hopefully, we don't have extremely long lines of cars or people waiting for the elevator. And that 1 hour appointment is just your arrival time. So don't panic and think you have to get there, be unpacked, totally done, in that hour. Just be sure and arrive at your unloading site within that 1 hour move-in appointment period.
Deborah, how would a student know if they have signed up for an appointment? Maybe they did a long time ago and they're not sure where to find that information. What would you tell them?
Excellent question. They should go back into their housing portal, which is accessed through My UK. And in their information on the tabs, it should be the My Info. It should show where they have a move-in appointment. Now, if for some reason they don't see it or can't find it, can always reach out to the campus housing office. And their email is ukhousing@lsv.uky.edu, and then as well as the website. Thank you. All right, so here to me, this is my Bible. I am one of the primary coordinators of Move In. So yes, I can be the one that you holler at if things don't go right, but we try very, very hard to make everything go as smoothly as possible. The one thing we can't control is the weather. So Sarah always says, please pray for beautiful, dry, we'll take hot over wet, dry weather. So your student should have received an email on Monday explaining, about move-in expectations and links to various documents. And this move-in map is one of those documents. It is also on the UK Housing website, and on our homepage of UK Housing, there is a little button that says Move In Fall 2021. So you can get to all kinds of information there. But this map, I know this is huge and maybe overwhelming. You can't see it on here, but basically it shows the north part of campus, central, south, the route that you will drive into it. We always say, please, please, please turn off GPS before you get to campus, because we do have various one-way roads and closures, so it will totally mess you up. Once you get on campus, there will be signage. So look to where these routes start and then start following the color-coded routes and signs. You can listen to Waze if you want to find out about any traffic impediments that may be in the way, but yeah, as a rule, just follow the signs. This map is also on our mobile map, trying to say it correctly, that the campus uses, but there's a very specific one for move-in. So if you go to, again, the campus website, look for campus map, interactive, you can click on the move in icon and you will get the same map, so you can zoom in and out or whatever you need to do. This will also show where all the parking is. Good news this year for those of you moving in on North Campus, we have expanded, thank you, Sarah, our West Parking Structure number 5. Now it's called Cornerstone. There's retail under there, but it is about twice the size it was. So we are having all parents, students, extra vehicles once you unload to park in the Cornerstone, and then it's a very short walk back to North Campus. Central Campus has a couple of different routes, Hagen Hall, and that's what the dotted line is, because it gets a little confusing. So the solid line shows your route in, dotted line shows you how to get to the stadium parking. So all the central and south parking will be in the red and blue lots only at Kroger Field, and the method to get there varies depending on what hall you're exiting. We have Lewis Hall and University Flats. The green buildings are Ball and Chelgren. They have a very scenic route to get to the stadium because, again, of our one-way street. So you will go all the way down Woodland to Euclid, and this will make sense once you get here. Turn right on High Street and right on Alumni. And then it shows you come back in over on the side of the stadium. So that is the green and the pink route. So the easiest way to get to the stadium are those that are moving into Woodland Glen 3, 4, 5. They will basically just drive up Sports Center Drive and drive straight across. Again, there's signage and police. You will have to go around the stadium and then come back in on University Drive, and then you will see our shuttle stop. So the other thing, everywhere you see a little bus are shuttle stops. So again, there's none on North because you are very fortunate you get to park in the garage, but shuttle will pick you up and drop you off, and the signs and times will be posted. And again, all of this is only just on our assisted move-in days of the 16th, 17th, and 18th.
And Deborah, they can also
yeah.
call this number. So if you're traveling to campus and you've got a question or concern, there is a phone number here on the map, and there will be someone in the EOC, if you will, that will answer that phone. They'll be watching traffic flow. They'll be watching weather. They'll be communicating to the police and the traffic control folks. And so it is being watched from a very high level to make sure that the traffic flow is going well. So if you run into concerns, you can call that number. And then all of these people working out in the field have a radio. Not all people, but lots of folks who are over the traffic control have a radio. And so if there's information that we need to get out to folks, we work together to make the best traffic flow process.
Thank you. All very good points. And also on this map, it'll encourage you to use Twitter and use the hashtag #BigBlueMove, and our UKPR team watches that and will answer back and post other things. So be sure to have a little fun on Move In.
Can I jump in really quickly and
yes,
ask
yes.
a question? We tend to get this question a lot in the Parent Family Association office, and it's from families who want to bring multiple vehicles. How many vehicles would you recommend families bring with them to move in?
Well, we tease.
Well, yeah, no, we have stories. Please don't bring a, horse trailer. We've seen that. Those are pretty long. But yeah, no, hopefully, 2 vehicles. It depends on the size. Now, if you have, maybe grandparents who want to come experience the move in, because it is a big point in your life, but they don't have anything in their car, that's fine. Go ahead and have them drive straight to the parking areas. And on north, walk over to the hall, or on the others, go ahead and catch the shuttle back. That way, we want to get as many people through as possible. So if there's an empty car just sitting there, and I will clarify that in a minute. I know Sarah's probably like having a heart attack. There should never be an empty car just sitting there, but let's just say they're there in line up against the curb, but nothing in there. They're taking away space for someone else. So I think I'll take this moment, excellent question again, to kind of talk about the process when you arrive. I know I'm trying to be sure I'm not jumping too far ahead, but yes, there will be the signs that, this is a typical sign. They'll all be color coded in the name. And then the next slide, I think, are our move-in routes. So there are also, when you go to our webpage, not only the big map, but individual routes by hall, so you can get a closer look of what happens, with you specifically. So yeah, what I wanted to point out as you, come to campus, and Sarah's going to talk about hall code cards. So, but you do want to have that with you, printed on your dashboard, and please hold up for traffic personnel. The traffic folks will direct you to a table. Our, staff and volunteers will be out there to help unload from the car to the table. And as soon as that car is unloaded, we want someone to drive that car to the parking area so we have that space for the next person in line. Student can take a loaded cart into the hall to check in. We will have carts there available for check-in, check-out. So it's, it's a very quick process, but I think we have it down pretty pat. We try and be very helpful. And again, there's plenty of folks around if you have any questions or concerns as we're going through it.
Deborah, if a student is coming by themselves and they just have one vehicle, what's the process for them?
That is not unusual. That has happened. So again, like I said, we have plenty of staff, out and about helping unload. So typically we'll have them unload onto a table and go park their vehicle. And then someone on our staff will stay and watch the items to be sure nothing happens to them. And then when they come back on the shuttle, they can move right into the hall.
We always tease and say that on move-in day, it's the most, I guess, trusted day of the year because everyone brings so many items that basically everybody just wants to get moved in, and the volunteers are trained to watch folks' belongings and to kind of help them look out. It's rare that you will have someone who moves in by themselves. But when we see that, we work very hard to make sure they're greeted and welcomed, and we serve them and watch their items so they can move their car quickly and then get back and get moved in. So that's an excellent question because we want everyone, regardless of how many cars or people that are here to support them, be greeted and feel welcome. So we've talked about the hall code card. So your resident, your student should have received an email on Monday that told them about the move-in process. And through that move-in process, they were told to download their hall code card. Now, if for some reason they haven't done that, there's still time to do that. All of the hall code cards are on the website under the move-in link. And so you go to the move-in link and you literally print out, out the hall code card for your res hall. And then as you're driving to campus, you keep that hall code card in your dashboard. But then as you approach traffic control, you want to hold that card up because then your traffic control person sees, oh, you're going to Woodland Glen 3. They then will radio down to someone who is unloading in that area and will say 1 or 2 cars, and then they'll alert the person that is receiving that car, and then they'll show them exactly where to pull up. And so it's a process that makes everything work. We ask for your mobile number, your, the time that you were to come to campus, and your room number. And the reason we ask that is we do have to have cars move quickly. So say for some reason we get a car that we haven't served well, and for whatever reason that car wasn't moved, then we can reach out to you to remind you to please remove your car, because the whole idea is twofold. One, we want everyone to have the same wonderful welcome. And in order to give everybody the same wonderful welcome, we have to continue to rotate cars. And so that's part of our process. So we give you some move-in tips. As we've said, we've been doing move-in for 32 years. It's my 32nd year of working with move-in. And I can share that I do a lot of things here at UK, but the one I'm most passionate about is move-in. And the reason is because it's that rite of passage. You get to meet moms and dads and families and loved ones who come. You want that experience to be great. We work so hard on making sure that greeting is a good one. And so we've learned some tips and tricks that we want to share that help you make your experience richer. So one of the things that we say is pack in these plastic containers and bring a dolly or push cart. And the reason we say that is if you'll look at this photo, you see that when you're packed really well and you've got a dolly or a good cart, you make moving in really quickly because you just got everything just the way you need it. Plus, it does rain a lot in Kentucky. And if you're in boxes and other things, sometimes they get wet, they collapse. And so it's just smart if you have those tins and tubs to bring them. And you can also take them home. So once you unload them, you can take them home, store them for your student, and then bring them back at move-in or out. Then the other thing that we say in step 2 is we know you know how to come to campus. Hopefully you've been here for a visit. You've been to Lexington, you know where you're moving in. And so most people know how to get here. But because our traffic flow is now one-way streets to, make sure that we welcome everyone really, really well, there's a lot of streets that don't operate like they normally do. And so if you're following your Google Maps, it may take you a direction that would get you in trouble. So we say that once you get to campus, turn off that Google map. Then we want you to know that there is a spot that we've identified as the best place for you to unload for your respective hall. So we want to get you as close to that door as possible, and we want to unload you as quickly as possible and then get you to move your car or truck. And the reason we want to do that is because we want to welcome the next person and just keep this process moving throughout that move-in day. And it just works really, really well. We can receive a lot of folks and make it a good experience. So basically you unload and you move your car before you check in. And so that's a good tip. Then the other thing that I share and I tease, because I have a daughter who moved in the residence halls last year, who's moving back into the residence halls. And it is really easy to want to bring everything you own because, well, you're excited about moving in. But I tell folks, if you're coming within 3 hours of campus, don't bring everything you own, because there's always a weekend where you can come home later, get your other items, your seasonal items that you may not need, your winter clothes if you're moving in now, those kinds of things. And the reason we want you to know that is because the less you bring, the brighter, richer experience you will have, because you won't have much to move in. Then we say, watch the weather. In Kentucky, we never know what we're going to get. I hope that we have beautiful weather like we've had this past week where the humidity's low and what have you. But, we have worked through move-in where it's rained and those kinds of things. So we have some plastic that we will have right there. Will help you wrap your belongings should it become, bad weather. And we will also have someone in our EOC that will be watching the weather. So should a storm blow up, they'll alert all the traffic control, the police officers on the street, and they'll alert us of what to do and how to work with the people as they're coming in. So that's good to know. So when you come to campus, you're going to look for those traffic control people that you saw in those vests, as well as the police officers. We are going to ask everyone, if they're not vaccinated, to please wear their mask. We will have some mask available at the front desk if you don't have one, but it's very important, if you're not vaccinated, to please wear your mask. We want you to remember that that move-in appointment is for 1 hour, but we're not expecting you to move in within that 1 hour. That's your arrival time to campus. And then we want you to know that there's going to be people that are going to greet you the minute you get here and start unloading your belongings onto a table, so we can help you get in quickly. And if there are a couple of guests, one will stay with the belongings and the other will move their vehicle. And then lastly, we have a lot of carts available, but we always say that it's, best that if you come at a time when all the carts are checked out, if you have one with you from home, it's just really nice that you've got that cart, that dolly with you, so you can keep that process rolling. So this is back to you, Deborah.
All righty, thank you. So some things to know. Be sure and watch for no parking areas. There are tow zones to secure, our unloading for students. So if you were to arrive very early one morning, you want to pay attention to any area that is specifically marked no parking, or the meters are bagged, because that means we're going to use that for an unloading area. And the last thing we ever want to do is to have to tow somebody. So just pay attention to all the no parking areas. And again, those are noted on your map as well. If you've already received your UK ID, that's great. If not, if you've uploaded all the information to Wildcard office, their plan is to have those cards available at the front desk. You are probably aware from your BBNOs, but all the access to the building and the student rooms is via your Wildcard ID. Your meal plans are loaded on there. So it is very important, but don't panic. Just always keep in touch with Wildcard ID, check their website, see if they can possibly still take uploaded information and have that ID ready for you. If not, the hall does have a limited number of temp cards. So if you need to run to the Wildcard office after you move in and unload to get your ID, that is perfectly fine as well. We plan to have bottled water out for all parents, students, workers, everybody, because it's Kentucky. It's always hot. I've yet to have a move in that wasn't hot. But feel free, bring bottled water with you just to help you stay hydrated as well. Inside your residence hall room will be a wellness kit. So it is typically a couple of masks, a thermometer, some hand sanitizer, some wipes, I believe, and then a little info card on, current COVID guidelines at UK. So that will be waiting for you in your room when you arrive. And most importantly, K-Week starts August 19th. That is a huge welcome for all new students to UK. UK is a big school. We all know that. We love it, but we've been here for years, so it doesn't seem as big to us. But it is an excellent way to get, all students involved right off the bat into activities, meeting people on their floor, and just getting them to feel like they're home at UK. So that's the goal. So we want everyone to move in, any new students to move in, no later than that Wednesday, the August 18th.
And
Yes.
Deborah, sometimes we've gotten a few questions from families about, what does my student do if they move in, on Monday, but K-Week doesn't start till Thursday? What is there to do? And so I always tell families, your student, if they're involved in a living learning program, will have lots of programming, but there will also be programming each night in some way, shape, or form for students. So don't feel like your student's going to have nothing to do until K-Week. They will have loads to do, and we'll have lots of opportunities to meet people before K-Week ever begins.
Excellent point. Thank you, Nikki. Because with that, there are some students who are going to move in prior to the 16th, but they're all affiliated with various groups like marching band, Wildcat Academy, STEM Cats. So they, just being part of whatever that group is, are pulled into activities right away. And then even on Monday, the 16th, the primary students moving in are the Living Learning Program students. We do have the Honors College moving in, and then our Wildcats First, which are first generation. So they each have their own programming that's going to go on until K-Week starts off. And then that Tuesday and Wednesday is for all our remaining new non-LLP students. And as Nikki said, they'll have some programming for them until the official K-Week kickoff. And for those of you that will happen to be moving in prior to the 16th, but the dining plans do become active brunch on August 14th. So definitely, anybody moving in on the 14th on, dining plans will be active and you will be able to eat.
Yes, and we're hopeful that maybe, after you get your student moved in, maybe you can go to the dining hall, sit down in the air conditioning and reconnect, and say goodbye and those kinds of things, because it's a nice place to go and not have to move your car again and those kinds of things.
I also am going to give a plug to the Parent Family Association is going to be hosting a family lounge in the Gatton Student Center near the bookstore. And so that's going to be a great opportunity for you to stop by, grab a snack, and fill out our letters from home postcards. It's a postcard that you read a note to your student and we'll mail it to them the first couple of weeks of class. It's just a great way to send a little encouragement. So come on by. We'll be there Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the 16th, 17th, and 18th from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m.
Perfect. It's a sweet, sweet program. So I encourage you to participate. All right, so let's get into some of the things of what to bring, what not to bring. So what to bring? Bed linens. That's a given. You want to get your sheets, your comforter, pillows, pillowcases. I would say mattress toppers, not as necessary as back in the days when I went to college. All of our mattresses are memory foam, so they're quite comfortable. So you can play that by ear once you move in. All the twins are listed on the left. These are all extra long, and then also full extra long sheets. And Sarah, I know you discovered with your daughter, those full extra longs weren't as easy to find as you thought. Where did you end up finding some?
So yeah, it's funny because I've been doing this forever and telling parents how to do it. And then when I go to do it, then, I'm looking for these full extra long sheets. So what I did is I actually bought queen size linens and mattress pads and those kinds of things, and they work fine. You just got to tuck them in a little tighter, but you can find the full. The Targets, the Walmarts, the department stores, they carry them. You can even get them on Amazon. It's just, you finding them. We went with the queen size. It wasn't a problem for us. So just know that you have some options there, that you can either find the full or the queen. There is laundry in each residence hall, so we highly recommend that they wash those sheets and those linens. I've teased, I would, write my daughter every now and again, text her and say, hey, when did you wash those sheets last? But yeah, so there is laundry in every residence hall. So if you have one pair, great. If you have a couple of pair, then you can rotate them. But either way, you should be fine with these sheets. And then we'll move on, Deborah, because I think we've got another list of what not to bring, right?
Yes, we do. We have 2 lists of that. So, but I was going to say, since you mentioned laundry, every student should have some kind of laundry bag. Usually bags work better if they, going home for the weekend with clean clothes or going home for the weekend with dirty clothes to wash and bring back clean. So you want to do that. And of course, clothing's needed. And then my daughter learned the hard way because, she's hard-headed. Freshman year, definitely the rubber boots, because it rains. It does rain a lot. And when it rains, it rains. So those are my hot items to be sure and bring. So
and
what
an umbrella.
Oh, yes, an umbrella. Although kids are funny about umbrellas, at least, but those boots, I'm telling you, lifesavers. And at least a slicker or an umbrella. People are going to think it does nothing but rain. It's really not that bad. It's just funny. When it rains, it downpours. So you do not need to bring a refrigerator or a freezer or a microwave, which is awesome. Every residence hall room has what we call micro fridge, and it's a combination refrigerator, freezer, and microwave. And it works to where when one kicks on, the other will kick off momentarily so that, we're not blowing circuits in the building, which is very inconvenient. And it does actually have its own separate freezer, which is nice. Those of you, again, who've had many fridge experiences, a lot of time the whole door opens and you just have this little metal thing that's supposed to be the freezer. So it does have its own separate freezer, which is nice. So you don't need to bring any of that. And we actually don't allow additional mini fridges or whatnot because of power, unless there is a medical need for that. And if so, please stay in touch with our Disability Resource Center. They can approve any extra needed items for any valid, reason, and they basically certify that. So they're a very good office to work with. All right. Now, I don't want you all to think that we're just mean and picky. All of these items of what not to bring are truly for the students' life safety in mind. Our university fire marshal has actually come up with all these items. Some of these items you would think would, common sense wouldn't be brought, but they have. So we have to have a list. But some items to point out is one, definitely anything that is a heated light source, like candles, incense, none of that. Any heating elements such as camping stoves, combustible liquids, no deep fryers, none of those immersion coals for heating water, no ovens or stoves. Now, some other less obvious items are excessive wall coverings. The fire marshal's rule is no more than 10% of a wall can be covered in any kind of material, paper, fabric, whatever. So, feel free to make your room look homey, but do not do wall-to-wall posters. That will not be allowed. And also, when you're hanging those items, because most of our halls are drywall, it's very important to use the command strip hangers if needed, or even small push pins if it will hold up whatever you're trying to hang. And there is a trick to the command strips. So you will learn more about that once you move in and before you move out, because our goal is not for you to be charged, but we want you to be cautious and aware of when you put things up.
I'll add to that, Deborah,
yes.
that I'll add to that, that if you put the command strip on your wall, the main thing to do is to make sure that you know how to take it off. Because if you take those command strips off the wall, they'll rip the drywall off. So it's better to go with a push pin or a small nail,
Like a
that's going to make a
finishing nail,
teeny
I think.
weeny,
Mhm.
yes, yes, that type of nail that won't make a large hole, that is easier to remove. If you do go with the command strips, it's best that if you don't know how to take them off, that you hold on to your directions and you make sure that you understand, because there are people that are well-intended that have done some, damage. So we just ask that. And we have staff and maintenance in the building that can answer questions. So if you go to hang something and are concerned, you can reach out to maintenance and they'll help you.
Thank you. That's excellent points. I think I said surge protectors, no extension cords, surge protectors only. And those are the ones that generally have a little switch, or at least have the ability to kick off if something happens. No lamps with plastic shades. They must be metal or glass. No power tools. Pets, no pets except for service animals or fish in a 10-gallon tank. And again, any service animal or ESA animal would have to be approved by Disability Resource Center. Now, here's 2 items that breaks lots of students' hearts, because it does make the room look really cute, but it creates some fire issues and damage issues. So the wall-mounted LED light strips, and I'm not sure, so you may have to help me describe them, because you've got the string lights, LED lights that are okay, but it's the kind that are literally mounted all
Right.
along, right, the ceiling. So that adhesive, whatever it is, it will pull that drywall straight off. Plus, I do not believe our fire marshal likes any excessive amount of LED lights, even the string lights in a room. And then headboards are the same thing. They're generally homemade, made of various materials. So again, it's just a flammability issue. So no headboards to be brought in. So that leaves lots of fun comforters and pillows. You can do it.
And believe me, with all the pillows they put on their bed, you can't even see the headboard. So it's okay.
Yes.
All right, so now you've moved in and you have a maintenance issue. What we want you to know is that we're going to work very hard to make sure your room is in excellent condition. But should you need us throughout the year, we have a call center that's open 24/7, 365 days out of the year. There's someone that answers the phone on Christmas. And you can call or you can send us a QR code and we'll get that to you in a minute. But if it's an emergency, you call 859-32-FIX-IT. And if you just want to put a work order in, you can. But if you move in that day and there's something that's not up to par for your room, something you've got a request, light bulb that has just gone out, that wasn't changed, that should have been, please reach out to this area and do that throughout the year. We do have a staff that works and cleans all the multi-purpose space, the public areas, the kitchens, the laundry areas. So there's someone always in the hall. And I will tell you that this staff is a blessing because, as I said, I've worked here at UK for a long time, and I hear about folks that move off campus that sometimes run into real maintenance issues, that don't have the access to staff that are trained to respond right away. So this is a real benefit and resource that I'm happy to talk about. So we say, welcome home, Wildcat. Let us fix it. If you have a maintenance concern, we want to be able to fix it. And again, this little card will be in your room when you get there that day. So you can go straight to that QR code, reach your maintenance folks and ask for help. And if it's an emergency, we'll come right away. If it's not an emergency, we'll come, you know, hopefully within that day, if not that day, the very next day. And
I
as
have to, oh, I'm sorry. I just have to joke and say that background did show string lights the way you can do it.
yes, yes, these string
Didn't want
lights.
crazy. I know. I was like, oh, well, that's
Yep.
convenient. So
Yeah.
that's okay. It's just the ones that are totally glued
Right.
against the wall.
So we are here to answer your questions now or later. You know, we know that through the move-in process, you might come up with some questions. We want you to know that our housing office, res life and dining offices are working very hard. We can't wait for our Wildcats to be back on campus and in classes and doing things. And so we just want you to ask us your questions, and we'll be out there working move-in and can't wait to welcome you to UK.
Sarah and Deborah, I have a couple of questions for you. The first one is about roommates. So let's say someone selected a roommate and they thought that that was going to be the one they wanted to live with. Do they still have an opportunity to change their roommate at this point? And if so, how would they do that?
Well, it depends on if it's now or later. So like if they want to change a room now, they can contact the housing office and ask to go through a room swap process. If there's a room available in another hall, then you could potentially move now. Once you move in, we ask you to fill out a roommate questionnaire. And it's like, you know, everything from, do you care if I wear your clothes? Do you care if I have my TV on when I study? Can we share food? And it just has this long list of questions. And what we ask folks to do is to go through that, you know, questionnaire, if you will, with your roommate. Have that dialogue and, you know, set some ground rules. Someone may say, oh, no, I don't care. You can eat anything that I brought. Or some might say, you know what? On certain days, I'm happy to share, but I'm not comfortable in sharing all the time. So I would appreciate you asking before you just, you know, got in my belongings. And it just helps that conversation moving forward. Now, we've been doing this a long time, as we've shared. And what I've seen over the years is, you know, sometimes when someone moves in, they think, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be happy here. And then the next thing we know, they've worked things out. We ask everyone to sit still for a couple of weeks, you know, because we know that, you know, it is a transition time and there's lots of, you know, things that are happening. But if you're unhappy after that 2-week process, we work hard to get you moved to a hall and a roommate where you're going to be happy and healthy, etc. Obviously, you know, there have been times where there have been emergencies and we've been able to move folks before that 2 weeks. But typically we ask that, you know, you just wait, get to know campus, get to know the folks on your floor, because sometimes your roommate does not have to be your best friend. You know, it's just someone that you share space with and can get along with. It may be that your best friend lives down the hall or in another hall, and yet you have a good roommate where you share that great experience with, but you don't necessarily do everything with.
Great, that was great. My other question is about dining plans. So let's say that a student comes to campus and realizes after the first week that they need to change their dining plan. Is that possible? And if so, how does that work?
There is an upgrade or downgrade period, and I don't have those dates in my mind or my notes. So I apologize that I don't have that. But what I can do is make sure that I get that information to you, Nikki, and you can get that out, as well as it's on the dining website. So I think it's a 2-week period where you can come to campus and upgrade. Like say you move to campus and think, oh my goodness, I love these. I love the meal plan. It's, excellent. I just didn't get enough. I'm going to need more meals. Then you're able to upgrade your plan. Or maybe you went with, a very large plan and now are rethinking that maybe you don't need that many meals and you want to, change that. There is a time frame and it's a couple of weeks, I want to say, and it looks like Deborah may even be looking for that information as we're talking here, but I do promise that I will follow up and get that information to you so you can get that out.
And I do know that it is on the dining website. So if anyone is looking for that, make sure that you're checking out that dining website. Well, I think that's all the questions that we have tonight. Thank you so much for being here, Sarah and Deborah. I am excited about moving. I'm excited to welcome all of our Wildcats back to campus, back to in-person classes and the residence halls. So I think it's going to be a really fun year. And I know that you have both worked so hard to make things possible and make things so smooth for our Wildcats. So just appreciate everything that you have done. As I said before, we have recorded this broadcast and we will put it on our website and on Facebook as well. So you'll be able to check it out there, and feel free to comment with any questions you might have. And we'll be sure to get those answered either by Sarah or Deborah or myself. And we'll be sure to get you connected to the right information. But so until next time, very excited that you were here with us tonight. We do have a couple of more Cat Chat Lives next week. One is with Fraternity and Sorority Life, and one is with the K-Week staff. So if you are interested in learning more about either of those things that are coming up, feel free to join us for Cat Chat Live next week. Until then, have a great evening and go Cats.
Thank you all. Be safe
you.
traveling. We can't wait to see you. Take care.